recognition of Mr. Mehia as a former governor. The fallout believed to be linked to Mr. Mehia's alliances clashing with the FCT minister's political strategies and interests stripped Mr. Mehia of benefits and privileges accorded to former governors, such as pensions and official vehicles. Speaking during the flag-off of the construction of Eviafara Road in Eche local government area on Wednesday, Mr. Mehia appeared to have taken a swipe at the FCT minister, reminding him of his numerous jabs at previous ministers who he said failed to attract projects into the state.
Leaders of the state have always said ministers from River State must bring projects to River State. Today, we are asking questions. How many projects from federal government are here in River State? When Rotimi Amechi was the minister, we were asking questions to say what are the projects you have brought. Today, we are asking the same question. We have the same status in the higher status of minister. We are asking how many projects have you brought into Eche? How many projects have we received in Ikore ethnic nationality?
Mr. Mehia also accused some leaders from River State of demarketing the state despite its economic potential.
Besides the federal government at the center, River State is the next highest state to be respected. The simple reason is that the economic lifeline of Nigeria is in the hands of River State. Not just the oil, but the other economic and agricultural produce are also from River State. But the problem is many Rivers children who are outside River State try to bring River State down. If you demarcate your own state, no person will respect your state.
Earlier, River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara advised the people not to be used by saboteurs to frustrate the project. Beg your pardon.
Our thank you will still extend in the development of your people, manpower development. But if we finish the road and we don't have the right manpower, the rightful employment, the rightful engagement for our youth, the road is still useless. But we're not going to limit it to just the road. But we will bring agricultural development to Eche, knowing fully well that Eche is the food basket of the state.
Our correspondent reports that the governor announced the extension of the construction of the 12.3 kilometers road to 20.3 kilometers. Meanwhile, the commissioning of the newly completed 5-kilometer Okania-Obogoro road is being held today at the Okania-Obogoro junction in Obiakpo local government area. Governor Fubara has invited the Taraba State Governor, Abu Kefas, to commission the road. Earlier on Wednesday, Governor Fubara, while declaring open the 156th meeting of the Joint Tax Board of Nigeria in Port Harcourt, said his decision to broaden the tax net led to an increase in the state's internally generated revenue. The governor said tax is not meant to inflict hardship on citizens, but to make them better.
To broaden our tax base without increasing the rates, which has enabled us to generate more internal revenue. We are aware of the Trans-Kalawari Road, Elele, Ebeda, Omok, Dual Carriage Road, the zonal hospitals that we are building in Degema, Bori, Ahoda, and Omok, the most recent general hospital and psychiatric hospital that we're also building in Rumigbo. These are some of the numerous projects that are fully, please underline the word, fully funded by our internally generated revenue.
Governor Fubara also said increased tax is the only way to solve the problem associated with dwindling oil resources caused by illegal oil activities.
I urge you to come up with policy measures that will encourage the super rich to pay fair taxes voluntarily while channeling their excess resources into productive economic building and investment. Bearing in mind that our present situation requires only increase in our resources. We have the present challenges of oil vandalization, which is affecting the production level, thereby reducing the amount of money that this nation generates. Our situation requires increased revenue as of today.
Meanwhile, Governor Siminalayi Fubara has cautioned against destroying oil pipelines and installations as a way to get government attention. Governor Fubara said this while addressing members of the Ijo Youth Council on the occasion of the Isaac Boro Day at the gate of the Government House in Port Harcourt.
happy that we still appreciate the contribution of the late man Isaac. But I have an advice for you. Violence does not solve problems. We must all work together to give ourselves that thing that we want. Your message will be communicated to Mr. President. Then while we're doing that, you must be law-abiding. There shouldn't be any vandalization of our oil line. We need to encourage and support the government. When production is high, revenue will increase. Those demands that you're making will be met. When you shout as Awana, you shout with strong voice as Awana.
On his part, the IYC leader, Alaye Theophilus, demanded for the remediation of their environment due to pollution caused by oil exploration, among many other demands. Correspondent Kachinwo's reports that the governor was presented with a flag as the grassroots general of Ijaw Nation. Away from that, the crisis within the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has reportedly extended to its board of trustees as the acting national chairman, Omar Damagum, allegedly intensifies effort to silence members opposing his leadership. The Punch quoted a party source who spoke anonymously, revealing that there are plans to replace critical board of trustee members. The Punch also reports that the PDP National Working Committee is scheduled to meet today to address key issues regarding the party's future. Since assuming the role of acting national chairman following Senator Iyorchia Ayu's court removal, Damagum has faced mounting criticism from party leaders and increasing calls for his resignation amid the ongoing internal crisis. In other news, Justice Margaret Opara of the Rivers State High Court will on Tuesday 17th December deliver judgment on the murder trial of Wontom Baritao for the alleged killing of an 8-year-old minor, Ede Bari, in Bori, Kana local government area of River State. The incident is said to have happened during a church vigil in Obori. Mr. Tao is facing a 4-count charge of sexual abuse, exploitation of a child, unlawful sexual intercourse with a child, and murder. He pleaded not guilty to all these charges. Still to come, gas supply to power generation companies stopped. Stay with us. news. The Nigerian Railway Corporation says it plans to increase its passenger volume on the Port Harcourt-Aba corridor during the Yuletide. The Southeast Zonal Public Relations Officer Onyedikachi Onovo disclosed this today in an interview with the News Agency of Nigeria in Umuahia, Abia State. Mr. Onovo said the corporation was already refurbishing additional trains to achieve the plan and reduce the current overcrowding by passengers. Now, the National Union of Local Government Employees, NOGI, has raised concerns about some local government workers being excluded from receiving the newly approved minimum wage of 70,000 naira. NOGI's President Hakeem Ambali told newsmen that delays in implementing local government autonomy have created uncertainty among workers regarding how to address grievances about minimum wage payment. Although federal and some state employees are benefiting from the wage increase approved by President Bola Tinubu's administration, the situation remains inconsistent for local government workers. And now in business, the Chief Executive Officer of the Association of Power Generation Companies, Joy Ogaji, says wholesale gas producing companies have stopped the supply of natural gas to power generation companies for electricity production. As she said, the gas producing companies have formally notified all GENCOs of the suspension of natural gas supply. It follows the non-payment of debt accrued from previous supplies. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has denied issuing a directive that gas supply to GENCOs has been halted. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, the authority also denied instructing wholesale gas suppliers to stop further supply of gas to companies due to failure in payment obligations. The agency described reports stating that it has directed the stoppage of gas supply to GENCOs over 2 trillion naira debt as false and completely unfounded. Elsewhere, the Association of Senior Staff of Banks, Insurance and Financial Institutions has attributed the worsening cash shortage across the country to the inability of the Central Bank of Nigeria to meet the cash demands of commercial banks. President of the association, Olusoji Oluwole, in an interview noted the serious impact of the scarcity, especially as the festive season approaches, with increased demand for cash for shopping and business transactions. He said the CBN has failed to meet the cash demands of banks, while retailers profit by selling cash instead of depositing it back into the banking system. In other news, users of Meta-controlled social media applications have been shut out globally as the company grapples with a technical issue. Frustrated Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp users took to X, formerly Twitter, on Wednesday evening to report the global outage of the 3 apps owned by Mark Zuckerberg. A down detector also showed big spikes for Instagram, with 70,000 outage reports above average, and Facebook, which had over 100,000 outage reports. And now to entertainment. Popular musician Charlie Poppy has called out Dapper Music over as Spain, Portugal, and Morocco as joint host for the 2030 FIFA World Cup tournament, while the 2034 edition will be held in Saudi Arabia.
And now we'll bring you news from around the world.
South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has defended his recent declaration of martial law, claiming it was necessary to protect democracy and counter the opposition's parliamentary dictatorship. In a televised address, President Yoon said he would not resign despite an upcoming parliamentary vote on his impeachment, vowing to fight to the end, regardless of the outcome.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
On the news this afternoon, you heard elder statesman Celestine Meya has accused some Rivers leaders of demarketing the state. Governor Siminalayi Fubara has attributed the RGR growth to expanded tax net. Wholesale gas producing companies have stopped the supply of natural gas to power generation companies for electricity production. Norgay has raised concerns over exclusion of some civil servants from the new 70,000 naira minimum wage. And on the foreign scene, South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol has defended the martial law declaration amid impeachment threat. The news was edited by Constance Iruele-Mega. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I'm Ifechukwu Mwanyele. Many thanks for listening.